Hello everybody, welcome back everybody, and today I wanted to upload an interesting video insighting into the season 2. Now, doesn't mean anything. I'm actually not going to start recording this episode, season 2, until probably another 3 months, probably even a year of recording the season 1. But I just want to talk about how this particular Hygie world right here, as you can see here in the Steam Workshop, this is called Planet Aron 476. I wonder if that's supposed to be for Last Seen Gamers to review or something, but basically this no, it doesn't look that good of a planet, but what I love about this planet is that it has 3.1 G gravity, and what this is good for is that it means that survival is actually a challenge, because in Spitfire survival, basically there are a lot of challenges. One of them is building without using jetpack, but as soon as you build an oxygen generator, that's it, no more challenge. But then the problem is, on this planet, even with hydrogen, I can't take off. I literally will not. I can't. Like, it doesn't let me. I'm applying full thrust right now. I can't take off. Okay? I just can't. Okay? Now, I can hover over it because the inertial dampeners are stronger than the actual thrust. But see, as soon as I try to go up, as soon as I try to use the normal thrust, not the dampeners, it goes down. My character goes down, see? So there is like a kind of cheaty way of doing it. You kind of get up like this. So if you fly in a certain way, that you can kind of cheat it. But what I like about it is generally flying with a jetpack is not very viable. It's not very practical. And that's actually kind of cool because it means it encourages you to essentially just use rovers and actually build structures that don't require a jetpack. It encourages you to have, for example, a place to build ships where you could actually access every level, maybe even an elevator with a piston. You know, it encourages you to be ingenious with your construction, and I think that's really cool. And then the next thing is that getting off the planet is actually hard, because in normal space engineers, as soon as you get an oxygen bottle, you could immediately exit the planet with, a hydrogen bottle, with a hydrogen bottle. That's it. You just literally get one hydrogen bottle, and you could easily leave the planet. And then you take up some supplies, and then you put it up there. Then you kind of kill your own character, and then you just respawn back down to the planet and bring up more supplies, and do that a couple times, like 3 times, and then suddenly you have a space station, and then you could actually start to almost like restart survival from space, and then that's actually a lot easier. So it's really cheaty to get off the planet. This though, it's got 3G gravity. You literally cannot really you can't kind of get out by using this technique, but it becomes a lot less practical. Because obviously, you need a lot more hydrogen, but it's it's a little bit harder. And then another thing but again, there are always ways around it. Then the next thing, and this is a very big point, is that because of the insanely high gravity of 3G, rovers are really a better option, because normally on planets, rovers are just not very viable. They're not very practical. They're really slow. And they're not very good. They're kind of annoying to dock, and there's so many annoying things about it. But on this planet, a flying vehicle is ridiculous. Like, you need an absolutely stupid amount of stuff. So for example, let's just get this flying vehicle out there. This nice little rover. Not rover, it's a plane. But this thing is just going to get pancaked, basically. So it just cannot fly. And even if I refit it, now, let's just say I grab the atmospheric thrusters. This stock atmospheric thrusters, and I just say, you know what, we need a lot more of these. And I just said, let's put that many in. Out the door. Okay, so see, getting in is a lot harder. It's just so much more difficult. It's ridiculous. Just getting in is so difficult. It's nearly impossible. Okay? So for example, it's easier, right? So this encourages you to really build a very functional design that I quite like, because you don't just use the jetpack for everything. You kind of just go, okay, I need to get up. It encourages you not to use the jetpack. And even if I get up here, you need more power. So look, the amount of stuff you need to build a ship like this is so much harder. Like, now it's going to fly, but look at the amount of thrusters. Look at the amount of them. Like, and I'm just going to get out. Like, look at the amount of thrusters just to take off this tiny little ship with an insignificant amount of cargo. So basically, planes become a lot less viable as well, and this encourages you to use rovers. So basically, it encourages you to have a more difficult survival. And I think this is one of the reasons why I think space station should probably have like a fictional, very high gravity planet like this, like 3G, not just 1.1G like the alien planet. That makes the survival challenge a lot more unique. It makes it's almost like a hardcore mode, or just hard mode. So yeah, obviously you could fly normally, like the amount of velocity you need to fly horizontally, but it's only vertical stuff. But it's just you use so much energy. You need so many reactors. You need so many motors just to take off even a chair ship. There's just a little ship of a chair and like a reactor and a couple of thrusters. It becomes really unpractical. And obviously, if you crash the ships, obviously, like the ships suffer a lot more damage because obviously the higher gravity means that the ships are extremely easy to destroy. So all of this makes survival a lot more interesting. Makes it a lot harder. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this kind of talk about how a high gravity world would make survival a lot harder. Also, there's also other things discussing like how space deliveries would become more viable. Leaving the planet would become very difficult, since you would need a pretty decent amount of thrust. But it still wouldn't be impossible, just be a little bit more difficult. So this is interesting. Now, as far as I know, another thing about this planet is I don't think it actually has like water. As far as I know, like I'm pretty sure I actually can't really find any ice on it. So you could also have like a ticking clock, where you have your own little electrolysis reactor in your ship, and you have a limited amount of ice, and that's the only ice you're gonna get, and that's it. And you can imagine having a quite cool survival where you have to basically raid, like you have to build a fighter and raid pirate bases to get ice. That'd be crazy. That would and the way you get off the planet is either by raiding enough ice to build a hydrogen ship, or because there's platinum on this planet, you would use ion engines. So it really changes the survival, and it makes it more interesting. You have to really fight, and then obviously to actually have a fighter, you probably want it to be a flying thing, or you just go for rovers. And rovers, as well, like there are some hardcore rovers that are quite good. Like there's this, there's this rover right here, the Overkill. Evil. The Overkill. This is a really good rover, and it's a really good at combat. It can seriously attack. It's really good. So it encourages you to build rovers like this to attack. So everything would revolve around rovers. Building rovers would be the only practical option. And obviously rovers would handle like really, really good because it's very hard to flip, and the friction is off the charts on the high gravity. So you could make these cars handle like Formula 1 cars going around like crazy. But they're crazy. Yeah. So this all makes survival more interesting. So this is probably going to be the setup for season 2, either this planet or another high gravity world, and I'm stuck on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this kind of talk, rant, I guess.